What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Alan C in the place to be. You're now rocking with Al. You bugging? Thank y'all for rocking with me tonight. Got a show lined up for y'all. But if you could follow Al. You bugging on X, which is formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Al. You bugging. Again, that's X and Instagram at Al_U_bugging. What's going on with y'all, man? How y'all feeling? Shout out to Coach Prime and them Colorado boys. They did their damn thing. Saturday, Sunday morning over here. That game ran until about 2 or 3 o'clock, and I watched a good bulk of it. Matter of fact, I watched the whole thing. I stayed through both overtimes, the end of the fourth quarter. Um, that game was very interesting. You could throw out your whole 23-point spreads and all of that when it comes to college football, man. These are kids. These kids walking around, they got a lot of pressure on them, especially with Coach Prime over there. But they did their damn thing. They looked good. Again, fourth quarter, back against the wall, 8 points. And you needed Shador Sanders to step up and make a play, and he did. So Shador led an amazing drive to tie the game. And in college football, overtime, you normally, you kick the ball, see what you need. Nah, Dion put his hot quarterback right back on the field, and Shador went out there, got the touchdown, got the extra point. Colorado State, extra point. All right, cool. Got the ball again. Shador Sanders drove again. 2-point conversion. And then on the defensive side, they stopped them. So they won by 8. Again, shout out to Coach Prime. Shout out to Colorado football. They got a test against Oregon this week. Not gonna say they're gonna lose it, but it should be a real test for them. But let's get into week 2 of the NFL season. These injuries to these running backs getting crazy and crazier. Let's look at who's hurt so far from the running back market. Austin Eckler didn't play this week and he's questionable again moving forward. Running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. Aaron Jones injured his hamstring in week 1, missed week 2. J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles week 1. Jonathan Taylor ain't played yet. He's been in the IR. He's going to miss the first 4 weeks. David Montgomery hurt his hamstrings week 2. Won't play next week. Going to miss a couple of weeks. Saquon Barkley got an ankle sprain and may or may not miss Thursday. Brian Daboll isn't ruling him out yet. Josh Jacobs wasn't hurt, but dang, he played like he was, bro. 9 carries for negative yards rushing. And they questioning if they should get in this Cam Akers sweepstakes to bring in another running back. They think Josh Jacobs is done already, and this is his 5th year. So these is why running backs wanted to get paid, Shout out to Nick Chubb. Prayers to Nick Chubb. Gruesome injury. If you looked it up on Twitter, or if you've seen it live and rewound the tape last night like I did, it don't look good. Anytime you face down on the ground with your feet are still on the floor, something that happened to your knee that it wasn't supposed to happen. You need to bend the way that it wasn't supposed to bend. But Nick Chubb was 4th in the NFL in rushing, and the way he was going off before he got hurt, he had 10 yards for 66. 10 carries for 66 yards in the first half before he got hurt. So shout out to him, and hopefully he go ahead and come back. Shout out Goldie for listening. I appreciate you. So hopefully he come back healthy next year or in the future. But damn, these running backs, bro, like they can't catch a break right now. And again, this is why running backs wanted to be assured that they could get paid. I think what they need to do is go ahead and cancel that 5th-year option for running backs, or not cancel it, but include it into the contract. running backs get that 5 year, get top tier dollar, for the first 3 rounds drafted. That would be my suggestion to fix this. Now they can't come to the NFLPA for another couple of years, but that's what it's going to be. Um, I think it should be, like I said, first 5 years guaranteed contracts for running backs, and this is what they get paid. You can't franchise tag a running back because again, that's not fair to try to put them on a 1 year rental because you try to get rid of them earlier than you try to get rid of any other possession on the field. So, you got all these running backs that had the meeting and was thinking about holding out, and they getting hurt week 1, week 2. They don't have running backs anymore. So on the owner side, this is why you don't want to pay them. But they goods. I mean, these players not even 30 years old yet, and they probably won't be walking the same once they get finished the NFL. If they get a chance to get to the Hall of Fame, they won't be walking across that stage the same. So we need to go ahead and pay these boys. But let's get into the action. Week 2 scores. If you follow me on Instagram at Al_U_bugging, I went 12-4 this week with my picks. That's Thursday through Monday night. 12-4. Not too bad. Not too bad. But start with the games from last night, and I worked my way back up. The Steelers beat the Browns 26-22. Again, shout out to Nick Chubb. Prayers with him, and he was hurt. The Saints held on against the Panthers 20-17. The Dolphins on Sunday Night Football beat the Patriots 24-17. The Commanders beat the Broncos. They came back on the Broncos. We're going to talk about that game, 35-33. Dallas Cowboys beat the Jets 30-10. The Giants came back on the Cardinals 31-28. 49ers beat the Rams in a tight game 30-23. The Titans came back and beat the Chargers in overtime 27-24. The Bills blew the doors off the Raiders 38-10. The Falcons came back with a late field goal and beat the Packers 25-24. Chiefs beat the Jaguars 17-9. Buccaneers beat the Bears 27-17. The Colts, Anthony Richardson is in concussion protocol, but Gardner Minshew held on and beat the Texans 31-20. The Seahawks came back in overtime and beat the Lions 37-31. The Eagles on Thursday night beat the Vikings 34-28. And, the Baltimore boys did their thing in Cincinnati, beat the Bengals 27-24. Let's look at that Broncos game real quick. Russ and Sean Payton, they still beefing. They still at odds. Let me go ahead and run the tape real quick. Now, Russell's first half wasn't bad. His first half wasn't bad, but they gave away a 21-point lead, dropped to 0-2 on the season. Like I said, Russ started off on fire first half, and as good as he played in the first half, the Broncos' offensive line, their defense, and Russ played just as bad after halftime. Sheesh, they couldn't get out their own way. Shout out to Emmanuel Forbes, his first interception in his career. I scouted him. I compared him to Marcus Peters. He's definitely a ball hawk. And Russell Wilson tried him and found out the hard way. So welcome to the NFL Rook. Emmanuel Forbes got his first pick of the year. But hell, Sam Howell played amazing for the second week in a row. He went for 299 yards and 2 TDs. And Brian Robinson on the ground went for 87 yards and another 2 TDs. First off, hats off to EB. Eric Bieniemy, people were saying he wasn't calling plays in Kansas City, and that's what was holding him up from getting a head coaching job. If you see what he did the first 2 weeks with this Washington offense, come on, get that man a job. For real. Let's stop playing. He's doing an amazing job with this offense. Sean Payton, as you can hear from that clip, definitely getting upset with his offense of the Broncos, and him and Russ is just not on the same page at all. They're not clicking. The first half, they looked good with the scripts, and then the second half, when you need Russ to really play off script, which he was great at doing his whole career. Don't know what happened outside of Seattle, but Russell Wilson was the best quarterback we've seen since Ben Roethlisberger when the play breaks down. He was definitely one of those quarterbacks that once he gets off script and he gets out of pocket, amazing can happen. He could throw the ball down the field. He had one of the best deep balls in the game. I don't see that no more. I don't see that same fire in his eyes anymore to go out there and compete. It looks like he's just going through the motions right now. So I don't know what's going on with the Broncos, but I don't see them being on a getting that offense or that offense and defense on the same page anytime soon. And we might be looking at the end of Russell Wilson and the Broncos jersey, because hearing Sean Payton talking like that, he might be reaching out to stay at the kid pretty soon to take that backup coming into number one quarterback. But besides Russ and the Broncos, a couple of week one teams that looked off definitely bounced back in week two. Like I said last week, that week might as well have been a mulligan. There was so many teams that didn't play preseason. So many teams didn't take the preseason serious, got new coordinators or whatever, what have you. And it just didn't look well. Now, Josh Allen did play the preseason. He definitely played against the Steelers preseason, and they didn't look good. Didn't look good week one. But Josh Allen went from 4 turnovers in week one, 3 interceptions, to 3 touchdowns in week two, throwing for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. If we want to question him and Diggs' relationship, Diggs got 7 catches for 66 yards. And they leaned into their run game. Cook went off 123 yards on the ground. Shout out to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I mean, they got their new they got new coordinators. So they're gonna go through their learning pains right now. But from week 1 to week 2, he improved his yards. He threw for 193 yards, and they definitely went back to the run game. Swift had 175 yards on 28 carries and a touchdown as they beat the Vikings on Thursday. So, speaking of players bouncing back, man, come on. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know where I'm at. Y'all know where I'm from. LJ, Lamar Jackson, definitely had a bounce back day. Looked more comfortable with his new offense. They're growing. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 27-24, 7-1 against the Bengals. It just is what it is. Come on. You know. Playoff game, we had LJ with a 1. Y'all heard what JK said. We had that playoff game with a 1, but that's a whole nother story. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 27-24, and another game where they led wire to wire. They haven't trailed in the game yet this season. Lamar Jackson threw for 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, 50 yards on the ground. Gus Edwards, 10 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Nelly led with 5 catches and 63 yards in a touchdown. The Rook, Zay Flowers, I scouted him. Baltimore, you welcome. I told EDC to go get him. Baltimore, you welcome. Rook, he had 4 catches and 62 yards. Mark Andrews had 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Offense looked a lot more fluid, Lamar was definitely a lot more in control and had mastery of the game, controlled the game, made amazing deep throws, beautiful pass to Flowers on the left hand side. Um, wasn't a post corner. I think that was just a basic seam route. He got behind the defense on. Um, and same route on the right hand side. I think that was more of a post corner to Nelly for a deep shot, about 20 yards on that pass. Um, so like I said, Lamar definitely had more mastery and control of that game this week than he did the first week. They definitely making halftime adjustments in the second half. I could definitely see them doing that. From that first half, they trying to test out their plays, see what's going on. Then Lamar in that second half just takes over. Third quarter, fourth quarter, gets that key drive that we need to keep the lead, keep it going, keep the defense on the sideline rested up, and be coming away with points for it. Shout out to the defense though. On the defensive side, you mentioned Marlon Humphrey haven't played yet. Marcus Williams missed the last 6 quarters of football, and we not don't giving away deep shots, and we playing against Jamar Chase, not giving away deep shots at all. Jadeveon Clowney looked good off the edge. We got another sack this week. Odafe went out though, so they haven't released what's going on with Daffy and Odell as far as their injuries. As far as I know, John Harbaugh said ain't nothing to worry about going forward. Shouldn't limit them going forward. We'll see what's up with the practice. When I come back on live with y'all on Friday, I'll provide y'all some updates and see what's going on with that. Adarius Washington, however, slot corner Adarius Washington placed on IR. He's going to miss the next 4 weeks with a chest injury. So, the injuries are starting to pile up a little bit here in Baltimore. But hopefully, Marlon Humphrey gets back. Rock gets in. He's, being used sparingly. Shout out to Rock on that break up to Jamar Chase in the touchdown, though. That was an amazing play. Because Jamar Chase definitely had that ball. And he pulled it out of his hands. So that was great defense by Rock. But, as he's getting healthier, he should be getting used more and more. And on the opposite side of Marlon Humphrey, when Marlon gets back, should be back in the next couple of weeks off of his foot surgery. Like I said, Marcus Williams decided to get surgery, so he's just going to rehab, not going to IR. So we should see him back sometime soon. Like I said, I'll definitely let y'all know who practice and who not when it comes to the rest of this week and these games going forward. But yeah, if Baltimore gets back to that power run game, which is where our bread is buttered, we should be A-okay with these new wide receivers. Because once you step up to take away that power run game, we're gonna beat you with the receivers and the passing game. And Lamar looks like he's able to do that. So that's what we looking at there. But we also got a Thursday night game coming up for y'all. Thursday, San Francisco 49ers hosting the New York Giants. I think this game right here is going to be a good test for Danny Dimes. He looked good in the second half of the Arizona game, but first 6 quarters definitely didn't. First 6 quarters of the season definitely didn't look good at all. At halftime, they was outscored 60-0 when it came to the season. Now the last 2 quarters of the Arizona game, that second half, they came back and Danny played very well in the second half. I think the Cardinals are tanking, but it's hard for me to say a lot of grown men with pride, money, salaries, contracts, endorsements, everything else on the line is just going to lay down. when it comes to winning a football game. So I think the Cardinals, just aren't really that good to keep it without saying that they're tanking. I just don't think they're that good. They're definitely on the podium, and they are definitely on the clock, and they are trying to draft Marcus Williams. I'm sorry, not Marcus Williams. What the hell? Caleb Williams. Lord have mercy. It's been a long day, y'all. Trying to draft Caleb Williams, the young kid out of USC. Yeah, you try and get first dibs on him, get that first pick. So up front, up top at the front office, they definitely would love for the Cardinals to tank. I just don't think that they have enough talent right now to really compete, especially with Kyler Murray out. They just don't have enough talent. They don't have a quarterback that should go out there and get it type of player. So again, the Thursday night game. Don't know if Saquon going to be playing or not with his ankle injury. They haven't ruled him out, but he hasn't practiced yesterday or today. Ben Bredesen, their offensive lineman, hasn't practiced yesterday or today. So we'll see if either one of those are playing. Brandon Ayuk hasn't practiced yet this week. He had a shoulder injury. So we'll see if he can actually go. But, after the defense they played in front week 1 against the Cowboys, and the Giants defense haven't been doing too hot this season either. This is going to be another test of that front line. And strong blitz with Bosa, Fred Warner, them dudes on that defense is legit. If the Cowboys are number 1 defense, the 49ers ain't no less than 2. So they're gonna be playing against, say, the top two defenses in 3 weeks. So Danny Dimes definitely going to earn his money worth this beginning of the season. But I think he can go ahead. If there's a weak link, that's not really a weak link, but if there is a quote unquote weak link on the 49ers, it's a secondary. Again, they still fire there, but I think their best bet is their corners because they got the best linebacker in football in Fred Warner. They got one of the best pass rushers in football, Joey Bosa. Up front, they stout. Their front four, but I think the corners, especially, if they missing not Jimmy Ward. They're missing their corner, their safety. They could be they could be got there in the secondary. So I think they can go ahead and put some pressure on them that way if they're going to try to keep this game good. But I think the Giants pass rush, Dexter Lawrence going to have to try to pressure Brock Purdy as much as possible. But Brock Purdy got way too many weapons. CMC, Debo, Kittle. Like I said, if Ayuk was a go, they got way too many weapons over there in San Francisco for the Giants to make this a game. But Dexter Lawrence need to bring some pressure in that A gap. Make Brock Purdy have to play. The Rams did the same thing, and they was able to keep the game a little bit closer than they wanted. The quickest way to disrupt the play is that A gap where Dex and Aaron Donald play. It's the quickest way to disrupt the play. They went out and got pass rushers. So Kayvon, we need you. Leonard Williams, they need you. Bobby Oriki, they need you. Y'all need to go ahead and generate a pass rush. Y'all got 0 sacks against the Cardinals, and their offensive line ain't jack. So y'all definitely going to need to try to step up against the 49ers to make this a game. I don't think this game is going to be particularly close, but I said the same thing about the Eagles and the Vikings last week. So, it's a chance for them to actually play and keep it close, but I doubt it. I got 49ers winning big, at least by 10, might be by 2 touchdowns by the time all is said and done. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all again on Friday. We're gonna break down that game. We're gonna break down some college matchups because they're getting into, there's a lot more ranked teams playing ranked teams. They're getting into the actual meat of the college football season. Um, like I said, Coach Prime in Colorado was playing against a ranked Oregon team. Um, UCLA and Utah's playing. Oklahoma State, Washington State playing on Saturday. So we're gonna break down some of that on Friday. See what kids to scout, which kids we be looking at, what kids we breaking down on tape. On Friday, I told you about those matchups, and then like I said, Sunday, NFL season, week 3, Ravens going against the Colts. We don't know if rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson is playing. If not, Gardner Minshew it is. Gardner Minshew, sorry. Gardner Minshew it is. And we won't go ahead and embarrass them. But that's for later on. It said shout out to Nick Chubb's. Prayers up for him, man. He's one of my favorite running backs in the league, and it's gonna be crazy trying to watch, Cleveland this year without them. Deshaun Watson gotta live up to that contract. He's not the highest paid quarterback anymore, but he got the most guaranteed money out of any quarterback. So he need to actually step up and earn that contract. Um, the running back they had last night went off against the Steelers in the second half, and if you look at the first 2 weeks, the Steelers could definitely rush the passer, but where they getting got at is the run game. So this backup running back that they have for the Browns should be able to make some plays. But again, Deshaun Watson, we need you to step up. You got this contract, you got this money. Let's see what happens. That's my time, y'all. Again, y'all see the ticker. Follow Al U Bugging on X and Instagram at Al_U_Bugging. On Twitter and Instagram. Be blessed. Be productive. Be more. We love you. We out.